Hello.
Hi. Well, I'm glad you came in costume. That's important. Because yeah, my phone, I was like flurries today, and I was like, oh no. Oh no, not for opening
Oh,
day.
I know. I know, but no, it seems nice out. I mean, it's not this nice. Laura, can I show you what my fantasy opening day outfit would
Yes.
be?
Yes. Please
Um,
tell us all about it.
in a world where I do not live in Chicago, and I live somewhere like, I don't know, Atlanta, or California,
Yeah.
I would have this adorable sweater on, but it's still March and I would need a little more covering. So
All
I would
right.
put on my freshly finished Audrey jacket that obviously I should have unbuttoned.
Well,
But here she is. Look at
wow.
her. And
It is an
I would just like,
Audrey parade. It's Audrey on Audrey, on your mannequin friend and on
yeah.
you.
But just look how cash I would just be rocking up to the ballpark in this, like, maybe 6 weeks from now. This
Oh
could be my
man.
outfit
Yeah,
for like
not today.
mid-May. No,
Not
not
today.
today. Not today. But I knew that it needed to be seen. And I'm very happy with how my Audrey jacket turned out. It's so
Yeah.
cute.
It's a lot of patterns, so it's really cool that
Yeah.
you
Yes.
broke it down into digestible bites over at the garment workroom.
Yeah. Yeah. I just love it. Do you see my little star buttons I was telling you about?
Yeah, I love those. They
They're
are
so cute,
just
right?
Yeah, those are different star buttons than I was imagining. So those are very USO, very whack. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm just here to
Super
entertain the
cute.
troops, Laura.
100%. Yeah, you're the lost Andrew sister. And I've always said that.
Yeah.
So,
The bald one.
yeah, well, I did not say that, but
I know. Could you just see me just like chilling with a beer in the stadium? I would love this for me. But no, this is not the outfit I will be wearing. It is unseasonably warm, but not this unseasonably
right.
warm. So I will be definitely wearing some thermals for
So
my booty.
I have
Um,
some opening day questions for you, if I may. Um,
please.
First of all, have you attended opening days games before?
I
Will
have
this be your first
never.
one?
This is my
You
first
never
opening
have.
day. No, never.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
I grew up on the west side of the state. Uh, 3 hours to Detroit was a hard ask.
Yeah.
So I never did it when I was growing up. And uh, they tried to not schedule baseball games like the opening weekend. They tried to push the northern games like
That makes sense.
away so that
That
the
makes
northern
sense.
teams don't have to play in the snow, generally speaking. Obviously, this is hard. This is tough to do. And now that they have a balanced schedule, I think it's even harder to do. But yeah, usually opening day is not anywhere near here.
Got it.
And I've lived in Chicago for 21 years now. I don't remember a time where opening day for the Tigers was in Chicago before, because generally they don't like to do that because of snow and it being so
Right.
terrible. So this was just
Right.
like a convergence of I don't know, the universe. Yeah, I'm super pumped to do my
That is
first
very
opening day.
exciting. So the big question that I'm sure that's on everybody's mind is the weather is borderline. We're looking at like mid 50s. Is it knittable? Will you be able to get any knitting done at the ballpark?
I am packing a project.
Okay.
I do have some fingerless mitts that my very best friend gave me for Christmas this year that are already packed in my stadium approved clear tote.
Good.
Um, so I do think it, even if I can't knit in the ballpark because it'll be too chilly for my fingers. I will at least be able to knit on the way there and back on the good old CTA. So there will be knitting happening for
That's
sure.
important. That's important because the New York Times wrote that article 5 years ago or whatever about how knitting is very popular among, or I guess baseball is very popular among knitters as a spectator sport. And so the people want to know. The people want to
Yeah.
know.
Hopefully I can, the sun makes a huge difference. And I did buy myself a ticket that will be in the sunshine. So I think that will really help.
Good. And one actual inside baseball question that I can ask to sound semi in the know. Big League Foodie, formerly of the Milwaukee Brewers,
Yes.
I cannot pronounce his last name. Sure.
Anna.
He left the Milwaukee Brewers and is now on the Detroit Tigers. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Will
Yes.
he play today? Do you know?
I just actually got the notification of the lineup. Let me do breaking news.
Okay.
To you, Laura. I can do a breaking news. Will Mark Hanna be in the lineup? Let's see it. And he will. He is the designated hitter for the Tigers. And look, they still have actually they're very behind because they have their hats on.
Oh, whoops! And he's still on the Brew Crew.
No, actually, he's wearing a Mets hat, which was at least 3 years ago. So this app really needs to get with the program.
Write them a letter.
Lots of old hats happening.
Write them a letter.
But yeah, he's the designated hitter for the Detroit Tigers today. So
well, that's exciting. We were really won over. I was really won over by a couple of the Milwaukee Brewers players when we attended this summer. I super love the Milwaukee Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds. I just had a great time at both of those stadiums and have decided I'm just thumbs up on those folks. And
as you should be.
Yeah, great time. And Big League Foodie, Mr. Canna, has an Instagram account called Big League Foodie, and he does food reviews of all the different cities that he travels to and lives in. And he's a charmer, so I really like him. Check out Big League Foodie now of the Detroit Tigers. So
now of the Detroit Tigers, yes, yeah. So and he's able to be the designated hitter for the Tigers now because Miguel Cabrera retired last season, who was the designated hitter for the Tigers. So there was an opening that Big League Foodie could fill. So time just
keeps
rolling on.
It does. But Allyson, speaking of opening day and baseballs, tell us more about what you're wearing. This is such a beautiful garment.
Oh,
where could I possibly get one of those?
So this is one of my little designs from my vintage inspired baseball knits ebook that I put out so many years ago, like 12 years ago. But she's still good. And yeah, I just got all the patterns uploaded to my Ravelry. So if you think that this is cute, I think that this is a really cute one. It's got the little short row situations happening at the bottom. This was knit in cotton. It was put out through Knit Picks. So I used all their yarn. And then I added the Old English D to my sweater to make it a tiger sweater. So yeah, it's she's cute. She's cute. She gets the job done.
Absolutely. So good. Wonderful. Well, amazing. I mean, that concludes my interview. Those are my baseball questions that I prepped. That's what I have.
I loved it. I loved every second of it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm going to be walking my poor dog, who's going to be alone a long time today because Shade is in Sweden. But yeah, so I'm going to walk my dog and then start making the trek down to guaranteed rate field. Rolls off the tongue. Just rolls
sure does.
Off the tongue.
Sure does. Well, go Tigers. How exciting.
Go Tigers. Yep. Yep. So the project that I am going to be taking with me, Laura,
Yes,
we were at Sip and Stitch
we
last night,
were.
hosted by
Super fun.
Cog Cycles, at Dovetail Brewery. Laura got a little sneak peek at a new sweater that I cast on. This is the Luis pullover, Bobalicious, as you can see, knit up in that, as you can see, beautiful, perfect green confetti yarn from the new confetti from La Bien Ami.
So good.
So yeah, this is what I have been working on. It is so cute.
It's
I
so
love
much
it.
better, to be honest, in the natural daylight. We had so much fun at Sip and
I know.
Stitch at Dovetail last night, but the lighting was very mood lighting. It was a lot of Edison bulbs and very chill vibes only,
It
which
was
is a
really
lovely vibe.
fun. Yes, but you can.
Lovely vibe. But I couldn't see this for shit, so it's beautiful in the camera. Love to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, super love it. Maya asked, how's the new confetti? The new confetti is very nice. There's not a bite in sight. It is
Very
extremely
cool.
smooth. Yeah, super nice. Yeah, super nice.
Love to see
Um,
it.
yes, the new color is so beautiful. This is very true. This is the Shire colorway. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it.
I see it.
Yeah,
I see the
super proud.
namesake. Well,
Mhm.
that Louise pullover is very exciting, and as is future news that will come out about that pullover. So, watch this space, y'all. It's all very exciting, I
Yeah, I
think.
think this pattern would make a really cute cardigan as
I think it
well.
would. Yeah, you've inspired me. I'm really going to start thinking about what it would look like as a cardigan, and get my mind around that. That's where I'm going to go from this
I can't
totally
wait to learn
organic
more.
conversation. Yeah, I'm going to put that in my inspiration machine. So, interesting.
Yeah. Again, this is the Luis pullover. Luis.
Hmm.
And we're saying it because it makes no sense. It's just a name.
Right. And
So
we're trying to not call it the bobble sweater,
yeah,
but
that bobble sweater. That bobble sweater. Yeah.
it
But yes,
has
Luis.
Misha and Puff vibes, and so we're very inspired. So that is what
Actually,
we're
yes, Luis pullover by Northside Knit Company.
rolls
Yeah,
off the tongue.
this pattern is a lot. I was just looking at it, so it was up on my desktop. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, the pattern's tough.
Is it?
But you
Jeez.
might be able to get a little bit of guidance on that
I
coming
was
in.
gonna say, it sounds like somebody should create a
Teach a
dream
class or
something
something.
that would teach a
Yeah,
class, but oh well. I guess we'll
something to
just
think
have to
about.
keep thinking about that.
Laura, I see you knitting away over there. What are you working on?
Yeah. Well, it should look very familiar. I am just heirloom cardiganing along. For those of you who have been keeping up week to week, Allison had her grand debut on Tuesday of her completed heirloom cardigan. It
I was
is
just gonna say I'm feeling a little chilly.
good.
As
Well,
as
it is
aforementioned.
it is a
Uh,
blustery day,
yeah,
so
it's chilly.
important. Speaking of last night's Sip and Stitch, this made its IRL debut and was a hit. It was a hit. It was so good to meet her.
Oh.
Um, oh dear, not
Well,
stuck in
you
the
know how you
ends.
have to hold
Yes,
the sleeve so it doesn't get bunchy. Then the sleeve's too
yeah.
short for
Well,
this.
and with a sweater underneath, I mean, really, knits on knits, living the dream. So,
Knits on knits is right. Yeah. So here she is. I debuted this on the internet on Tuesday.
one
But yeah, I love her.
Yes. I mean, it's so phenomenal and so inspirational, and also came with what I consider a word of warning, but also like a word of grace, which is you knit this in under a month, and that was not a reasonable pace. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I got the obsession. I caught it.
Which
I caught the
which we
fever.
have. That happens. But let me off the hook. I was able to achieve my goal, which is I got my back seamed together. So I'm happy with that. And yeah, I am debating if I want to do a fourth row or not, but my original vision stands. I feel I want to pick up for like a section of stockinette with another pattern in it before I do the ribbing. And I think that's going to work out lengthwise. So I'm loving how my back has come together. I have my right front almost done. This will finish my right front. So I'm cruising along.
Well, just remember to stretch and hydrate.
Yes.
Laura.
And it really seems like the key point here is you work much faster on this when you have other things to do. So I've noticed that myself. Was going to do a few things this morning and then got back from my morning walk and worked on this instead. So the afternoon, I'll have to put her away for the afternoon, but I am excited to have show and tell at least. She blocked out beautifully.
Yeah, looks beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So
nice.
I've been working away on that. I am hearing a lot of you are on spring break at the moment with your various children's. And I have heard from one friend on spring break, Lindy, who is working on her blocks as well, her modified version. So she's keeping along pace-wise too. Maya's got 7 blocks. So she's going to start doing some math. So it's nice to hear from people who are still chugging along. I love to hear it.
Working away on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think this would make a really nice opening day outfit as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a conversation starter. So you have to be ready to chat. I think, but
probably not at this crowd. I could find myself a little space probably if I had this.
Yeah. You never know. You never know. There's some partner who's the crafty one is going to be dragged along and is going to be like, "What's going on with this?"
Yeah.
It's a hell of a look. I love it. Also, have been working on some swatching. This is a very boring swatch and low impact to look at, but I have been swatching for my upcoming zipper sweater class. Those folks are chomping at the bit, so I figured you and I had talked about winding yarn because you were winding up that beautiful Corey confetti, and I was like, I'm gonna wind up my Thistle Ridge Farm yarn that I bought at Wisconsin Sheep and Wool last year and do a little test swatch, and I'm happy with it. It's gonna be a nice snoozy little knit, but it is gonna get worn a lot. I mean, it already looks great on me. So.
Sometimes you have to project knit rather than product knit rather than process knit.
It will be the ultimate product knit for me. But I'm already I can just see it fitting with so many other things. And this yarn is gorgeous. Love Thistle Ridge. So that's what I've got on the needles. And then I've been doing some sewing just like you. So
I know. I see your new jacket behind you.
Yeah, that was really fun doing a try on for the crew last week. That was fun.
Right? I know I was behind. Last week I had nothing to put on. But
you
I get to feel like the crew.
Rose to the occasion. And then I went completely in the other direction and I have a partially finished bathing suit. So I'm working on my super intense flower skull bathing suit. But I love her and she doesn't look like much not on my body, but she looks very crinkly, but fits great. And I am so pumped because do you remember, Allyson, our very first trip to Spandex World in New York City back in 2017? I don't even remember.
Probably before that.
The first year of sewing camp. Yeah.
And I bought time ago.
And I bought fabric for a skill set that I did not have at the time, working with stretch. And I attempted to make a self-drafted pair of leggings that went terribly and had this little skeleton peeking out of the crotch. But I had a yard left, and it's so fun. It's so fun that this insane fabric can have a second life in this crazy ass swimsuit. So I love it. And you'll notice there is still a skeleton in the crotch, but when it's worn, Yeah, but when it's worn, it does not, it looks pretty evenly balanced. So, yeah, my crazy skeleton suit.
Yeah,
I'm having so much fun. So, that's the other sewing journey I've been on.
I love
And
it.
yeah, I need to do some, really sit down and work on repairing that poor serger of mine. But this is all through just my machine, y'all. I didn't serge a stitch on this because I broke my serger. So, it'll be repair time in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. Take her in.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I have on my needles right now, Laura, is I finished a
Oh,
sleeve of my Paul
wow.
McCartney.
This was
Finished.
discussed. This was discussed last evening. And that is so, oh my God, people are typing because they should. That is so
Yeah.
exciting. Never been closer.
Good.
Never been
Yeah.
closer.
So I've just got to get the second sleeve on the needle and get working on it. But yeah, she's good. She's real good.
Yeah.
That
Ugh,
I
obsessed.
think she's gonna do that. She's also gonna look real good underneath my new jacket.
Yes, that I can just see like on the cliffs of Moher, just like sightseeing and feeling so fabulous. So
Right?
amazing.
Yes.
Ugh,
Yeah. So that's what I'm working on
that's
now.
plenty. Yeah. I am still cross stitching away, but I haven't touched it this week. There's just been too much going on, so I have nothing to really show and tell. But we're still having fun in the murder mystery group, that's for sure.
Have you solved the murder?
We haven't because I think there's still one room that needs to be released. So I think it's a long game. Hard to say, but I'm going to revisit with the group. We're going to brainstorm. Because the narrative's not quite coming together. So I'm starting to prefer our wild, loose conjecture, and we might have more fun coming up with our own
Yeah.
scenario. To be honest,
Generally, that's usually the way that is.
yeah, I've learned that from your quilts experience. So I'm just along for the ride at this point.
Sometimes that's the best. Just let it take
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah,
just let it take you.
why not? Why not?
Big news this week was the release of the official Vest Fest knit along for summer 2024.
Yep.
It's real.
The dates
it
are
is
up.
starting in May. It's gonna be great. Now, Laura,
Mm-hmm.
what if I were to tell you that I'm not really a vest person?
Well, I would push back strongly and say you haven't given it a shot, and you clearly have not been watching The Runway because we're
Oh
all
my
best people
God.
now.
Everybody's doing vests.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I'll bet if you tell me that you're not a vest person, I bet you'll be quick to tell me that you have tons of sweaters sitting in project bags waiting for sleeve timber. And that tells me that you're a prime candidate for being a vest person. But
Yeah.
also, we are super silly and all over the place with our definitions of vests around here because we just want you to come to our knit along time. It's just fun. It's a good old hang every Tuesday, every other Tuesday here at the party on Zoom. It's a blast and a half. So anything that's remote, like we are classifying a lot of things as vests.
Yes.
Foot vests are socks, head
Yes.
vests, hats. You get the picture.
Summer
Short
tea.
sleeve tees, summer
Yeah.
tees. Perhaps you're
some
thinking of
tea.
taking Friday
Summer tea.
tea, which will be offered to you all from me in July. That's all stuff we can work on during Vest Fest. So it's a wide net. Even if you're not a vest person, you'll have something in your project queue or in a project bag that will qualify. And I think you should join us. That's my pitch. How did I do?
Perfect.
Great.
I love it. And you are exactly right. All the kids are doing is wearing vests. I finished couple to thruple this week.
Yeah.
And they are in Panama in the hot heat.
Yeah.
And there was a little throuple. They were all wearing matching sweater vests for one of the recoupling ceremonies.
Well, hey, I mean, I really thought that I had nothing in common with that show, but it turns out I do. I have a lot in common with it. So there you go.
Yeah. That is the thing that everyone leaned into really hard is tripling, not twinning. They wear outfits where
Tripling,
they all look
thrupling,
exactly the same. Thrupling. They thrupled. They
amazing.
thrupled in the vest in I think in the hot heat of Panama, committing to the bit of
Yeah,
knitted sweater vest is extreme.
extremely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Almost
extreme.
as
It's
extreme as welcoming a third person into your relationship.
yeah.
That's pretty
I
extreme.
think everyone's going to extremes on that
Yeah,
program. But hey, it just so happens to coincide with my interests, so sold. But yeah,
it
summer knitting in general can be is something we don't often consider when we are like blazing through these beautiful sweaters and working on all these accessories. But we have friends from not only different parts of the world, but from different climates. So Best Fest can be really our friends who are in warmer climes. This can be your time to shine, and you can really feel like one of us. So, Best Fest is the best fest. I think you should
yeah.
join us. That's what I think.
Yeah. So we have bundles, we have ideas, we have
Hmm.
lots of inspo for you.
Hmm.
So use the month of April to get your plans in order because
Yes.
we will be kicking off Vest Fest on Tuesday, May 21st, and going every other Tuesday after that with a knit night live on Zoom. We
Amazing.
would love to see your plans. Laura, will there be prizes?
Always. There won't just be prizes, though. There will be fabulous prizes. So many of them sponsored by Spring Resale. So you can get excited for all kinds of eco-friendly secondhand goodies coming your way.
Oh my God. Well, you love to see it. So get your vesting in order
Yes.
because that is going to be very exciting. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shira's
So
in.
excited.
Shira in the chat.
I saw
Going
that.
ham. Going
I'm
ham on
excited that
vest.
Shira's excited. So we'll be checking out her bundle, adding her bundles to our bundles, all kinds of
Yep.
bundling will
Bundles
be happening.
forever. Bundles forever.
And now that we're here, we're nearing the end of March, which is crazy. That means that officially we'll be at the end of the Leelanau knit along. So we've got a couple people in Leelanau work group running for the finish line. They're just in pursuit of their sticker. So
Is
I
it March
believe
31st at
Mhm.
midnight?
Yes,
Is that the
March
deadline?
31st at midnight. And because I know they heart their Leelanau, so I'm ready, standing ready to go. I see Maya typing. Maya, I don't know why you're typing. You should be knitting because you're so
You should be
close to
knitting.
finishing.
Yes.
So close. Maya and Karen are going to bring it in right under the wire. So, yep, she stopped
Oh my
typing. Good job,
God.
Maya.
I love it. I love it. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
More stickers to be had. The
Hmm.
end of the official end of the Leelanau knit along. And
Yeah.
we know that won't be gone for long though, because she always comes back in the winter.
Yep, she's a boomerang. She's a boomerang, but it's nice to just have that last little push. March 61st. I don't know, Maya. I think that's bold, but that's the other thing. Once you're at this stage of your Leelanau, it does go a lot faster. Everybody, because we talked about this. I don't remember at what venue we talked about. It was our last level up series
A
that we
level
did.
up. Our battle, top down versus bottom up, sweater
Yes.
construction.
Yes, which was a super fun topic. And we both had a lot to say on the subject. But one thing we agreed on is, yeah, we did. It was really heated. But one thing the only point we were able to agree on in between throwing elbows at each other is when you're at that point for either right before sleeve separation, if you're top down, or right when you join your sleeves and body and you're doing all that knitting all around on all those stitches, you just feel like you can hit the wall. You're just like, this will never end. And it's so much. But this is everyone's hitting the rewarding point of the bottom up process with Leelanau, where when you get to here, those raglan decreases are really starting to kick in, and it'll get a lot faster. So that's my Leelanau prayer for Maya and Karen specifically.
Yeah, you've got like 4 days left.
Yeah, you can do it.
In you. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Watch Couple the Thruple, or are the things that we talk about in our Culture Vulture section. But I what baseball is back. So, I mean, that's
Baseball's
Allison's
back.
solution. Just watch baseball.
Yep. Yeah, watch baseball. There's so much baseball to be watched all the
Yes.
time. And from our March Madness brackets, Laura,
Yeah.
those are going strong. And Sweet 16 and Elite 8 are both this weekend for both the women's and the men's. So there is sports to be had.
There you go.
So yeah, kick your feet up, order yourself a pizza, and do this thing.
Yes, 100%. So those are, I think, business wise, that's a lot for one week. We've got a lot of biz going on, and then you and I have had a lot of meetings and wheelings and dealings in the background. So we'll have more to announce week by week, which is so great. I love that for us.
Yep, absolutely. Well,
Hello.
we left everyone at a cliffhanger last week.
Mhm.
It was a Patrick Dempsey cliffhanger.
Yes, that's right.
You forgot about our cliffhanger, but I never forget about Patrick Dempsey.
Well, that's good because I had, and it turns out that we had watched. Yeah, we had watched two pieces of media that Patrick Dempsey was in. I would say he wasn't the star of what I watched, but he was the only star in what you watched. Is that right?
I mean, I don't know what people are famous from. There could be like TikTok stars bopping up. I'm not about to tell you that Patrick Dempsey was the only famous person in Thanksgiving, but I will say, as a 40-year-old woman, he was one of two people I recognized in Thanksgiving. The other one was Gina Gershon.
Wow. Okay. But I think that tells you sort of level of maybe fame level that would be in the motion picture that you watched. And it was a motion picture. Yes. Tell us more.
Yes. Thanksgiving was a horror movie that came out, I think, at Thanksgiving last year, starring Patrick Dempsey. Starring Patrick Dempsey, who is the like head sergeant in charge of protecting this tiny town when murder and chaos start to break out in this tiny town. And the best part for me of the movie that overall was way too violent, past the level of anyone being like, okay with things happening. It was a little too much.
Now, what is your like standard slasher? Like, I feel like there was a slasher film that you told me about once that was like took place in a mall, maybe, in like an 80s mall. Okay, darn. It was anyway.
Oh, that sounds like the best though.
But yeah, and there was something with like a bread slicer. I don't know that you found like, and it was gory from the description.
Oh, yes, it was when they remade those what were those books? The 3 books that Netflix came out. Oh my God. Not Goosebumps, but the ones that are dialed up from Goosebumps. And they made 3. Oh, and they were so good. One was set in the 90s, one was set like in the 50s or something, and then they kicked you back to where Fear Street. Thank you, Fear Street. Yes, those movies were like,
but they had gore in them, yes, but not like this level.
No, like they cut off somebody's head with like a meat slicer or whatever, but you get one. I think you get like one where you're like, holy shit, what's happening? This Thanksgiving movie had like 6. They sliced some girl up with a like table saw, and they like pulverized some kid's head with a meat tenderizer. I mean, there were a lot of moments where you're like, wow, sirs, I am not watching that. I think you get one per movie.
Well, I just wanted to like get a comparison level for the folks watching, where it's like to just note that there is a baseline for you of like, you'll do a slasher. But you're saying it's a next level of it because it's a grindhouse, Jewel is saying.
Yes, exactly. And to Jewel's point, and I just learned this recently, was this movie was a fake preview,
Mhm.
a fake trailer back in the aughts that was like just like a fake trailer for a movie that didn't exist, and then they made the movie, and so people were complaining about it because the best parts of the movie were in the trailer, but it's kind of hard to make a movie based on a trailer and not the trailer based on the movie.
Yeah.
And I never watched the trailer, so I did not have that as a basis. But Patrick Dempsey's performance in this movie, he's obviously putting his all into it, but at one point someone told him, hey, you're in Massachusetts and you should really try to do a Boston accent. And Patrick Dempsey, as you know, does not have a Boston accent, and he has a Boston accent in this role like 30% of the time. And it did like that voice coach, they did not pay enough to like lean into it. So he'd be like telling the kids something like, okay, kids, you have to be really careful because I heard something happening over here. So you just go sit in the car and I'll come find you in a second. And you'd be like, Patrick, either do it or don't do it, buddy.
I'm transported. I feel like I'm there now. I feel like I'm having a Boston baked bean.
I kind of have a Patrick Dempsey look to me. So I don't
Great
know.
hair.
Be a body
Great
double
hair.
or something. Yeah. But yeah, holy shit. It's so funny. And they chop someone fully in half in Thanksgiving.
Well, there you go.
I was telling Laura about this. And Laura, you watched a Patrick Dempsey movie in which someone was chopped in half. That wasn't Thanksgiving. What are the chances of that?
What are the chances? Well, I had this whole technological debacle happen on my flight back from Europe, which made it so that I was only able to fix the viewing screen in front of me by hitting several buttons. And I found that if I could find movies that had subtitles, I could get the film to play from the subtitle menu. But then from that moment on, I could not pause or navigate away from the film, and it just had to happen all the way through the end credits. So it limited my pool. And then, you get in those moods on planes where you're like, maybe I'm this person. I don't know. So I chose the Adam Driver motion picture Ferrari to watch. And guys, I grew up in Indianapolis, and I do not care about car racing, automobile racing at all. It has just been stuff I involuntarily know about. And for a long time, it was like, boo, Formula One. We don't like it because we're indie country. And now it's like everyone loves car racing. I've never been a big fan. But I like big swings, and I enjoyed the Gucci movie where Adam Driver did a questionable Italian accent, and there was a lot more wigging happening in Ferrari, so I was like, let's try it. So it goes on, and it turns out, guess who is in Ferrari in addition to Adam Driver and Penelope Cruz? Patrick Dempsey! And he is in a very successful wig. It's like an Orville Redenbacher, like the popcorn man. It's like a curly white wig that is very well executed, and everyone comments
Not
about
like
him.
Founding Father powdered
No, it's
white wig.
Yeah, like short, cropped, shiny. But everyone constantly comments about how he's got a great head of hair in that, and it's like, well, that is what Dempsey's known for. It's pretty good casting. But he had the same vocal coach, I think, for this role that he had for his Boston role, because I think that his vocal coach for this film just played a Chef Boyardee commercial for him a couple of times, and so he's just like, oh my God, I'm gonna drive in a car, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette, I beep beep, I'm a race car driver, and it's pretty funny. But there is like one funny thing that happens because his character is a chain smoker. And there's one funny thing where Ferrari comes over and yells at the guys like working in the pit to work on the cars, and they're like, don't fill up the gas, like don't spill gas on the driver because it'll light himself on fire. I thought that was funny. But yeah,
Did that happen? Did they light someone on fire and then he explodes?
They didn't. They were just afraid because he refused. His only note about his race car whenever he was doing test driving was that there wasn't an ashtray in his race car, and he was very upset about it. And so everyone was worried about him. They were worried about him setting himself on fire, but it was a MacGuffin because, okay, you're like, it's a, blah, blah, I'm having an affair on Penelope Cruz movie. Oh, blah, blah, I got to save the company with these cars. And that's what I think is happening. And we're all focusing on the Patrick Dempsey of it all. In the last 15 minutes of that film, this young upstart driver hits something in the road. His car flips up in the air. It's a Formula One race, so it's through villages and stuff. His car flips up into the air, hits a telephone post, mows over a crowd of people, including children, and spits the driver out onto the sidewalk, onto the pavement, and then a long, slow pan, which I remind you, I cannot pause or navigate away from, on a plane, pans this fast over his legs that have been severed from his body with his guts all over, a torso and a head with eyes splattered out of it. I was like, this is not where I thought this movie was going. And I have no problem spoiling this. No problem spoiling this because I don't recommend it. But anyway, I was just like telling Allyson the level of gore was so insane. And there was 10 minutes to go in that movie. And it was sort of like, anyway, that happened. End of movie and credits. And I was like, so shocking and traumatized and had to tell Allyson. And then
that really comes out of the blue.
It out of nowhere. And I was just like, that's what this movie's about? And was so shocked. And then Allyson was like, I can't believe you just saw somebody sliced in half randomly in a movie with Patrick Dempsey, because so did I. So that has been at the top of our conversation.
But in Thanksgiving, the woman tries to hide in a garbage can, and then the lid of the garbage can falls and chops her in half, and then her legs fall.
I mean, I guess I just didn't see it coming. I just really didn't. And the lingering gore in this movie, where I'm mostly just sad that Penelope Cruz is sad and that, he has a second family. That's just was not the torment I was going for. So it was just very shocking. As someone who doesn't seek out slashers or horror movies, that's not what I thought I was signing up for. But there I was.
No.
There I was.
You have to sign up for it. I think that's I was signing up. I knew it was going to be slashery because the preview that I saw was like a demonic thing, torturing teenagers at a Thanksgiving table. So I did know that there were going to be murders and people getting ripped apart and stuff. There were a couple things. They fully bake a woman in an oven and then serve her at the dinner table to her husband. Which I could watch. That paled in comparison to the table saw girl who tried to brace her fall on the table saw and sliced all of her fingers off.
No.
And guess what? She did end up bracing herself.
Well, that was her fault then. She was asking for it. What was she wearing?
Just not great. A juicy velour tracksuit.
Well, there you go. I mean, but that's the thing. I'm wondering, well, was Dempsey so inspired on this Thanksgiving set piece that he was like, hey, Michael Mann, you know what this movie needs? More slice and half action and eyeballs splattered onto asphalt. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But guys, I could not tell you what was going. I think it was double shocking because I was so bored. Because all apologies to Lil Megan, who I know is the #1 Formula One fan out there now. But at several times that movie went out of its way to remind me of the stakes and who was driving what car. And goddamn, if I couldn't figure out who was driving what car, or who was winning, or what we wanted to happen. I was so bored. So I think the boredom combined with the viscera, I was like, shoo. So it's an NFL
to look at. Would
you say that Thanksgiving is that a recommended or a not recommended from you?
I would say if you are a person who can handle just like 30% too violent. The it's just like your classic revenge plot, which always makes for a good slasher movie, but just know it's 30% too violent.
Got you. Okay. That's good
I will never watch it again, even though Patrick Dempsey in it was so funny. Oh, but Laura, I forgot to tell you this other part that really irritated me. So, at the end, and I won't spoil this, but you find out that one of the reasons that the murdering was going on was that Gina Gershon, who was murdered in the first scene of the movie, was pregnant.
Oh. That's not really. Do we need that?
No, I'm so sick of these women who are doing great. You can just be upset a woman is murdered.
I do hate that.
Right. You don't need to make a 60-year-old woman pregnant to be like, oh, no wonder this person went
now we can care about her. Right.
Well, she's like a medical miracle at that point.
Yeah.
But right. I mean, you're making me Google how old Gina Gershon is. I don't need to be doing that.
She doesn't want me to do that. She doesn't want me to do that
either. Right? I don't need Gina Gershon to be pregnant to understand that someone will want to murder a bunch of shitty teenagers as like revenge, to take revenge on her murder. Like, I've been with you. Those kids sucked. I want to see them die. I mean, maybe like 30% less violently. But I'm with you. Like, stop making this happen. God. Yeah. So that was the part at the end. I was like, seriously?
Well, do we have anything that we've been watching that we would recommend to the people?
I have one.
Good. Me too.
It is Magpie Murders.
Yes.
I started watching this yesterday. It is Masterpiece Mysteries. It came out a couple of years ago, starring Leslie Manville, who I really like. It's a limited series, just 6 episodes, based on a book. And I loved every single second of this series. It was just like tied in a bow. Pam said she loved it too. I loved every second of it. Highly recommend it. 2 murder mysteries wrapped up in one storytelling. A++. Yeah, so good.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup of murder mystery. Gotta love it.
Yes, so good and not too violent.
Bingo. Thank you, PBS.
Thank you, PBS. You really don't need it. You need like a little blood splattered, right?
Yeah.
You need like, you can fill in the rest. Oh, somebody falls down the stairs.
Yeah. I like a psychological thriller. I'll do ghosts and things. Ghosts are very dry. Not a lot of like viscera when it comes to ghosts. Into that.
No.
But yeah, viscera. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Keep everything. Nope. Keep your guts inside, please.
Yeah. Keep your guts inside, and everybody keeps their guts inside them. That's in Magpie Murders. So loved it. So good.
Can't wait to check that out for sure.
Yeah, you're gonna love it, and it's like a snack. It's like 6 hours. You're just like done. This morning I woke up and the first thing I thought was, oh my God, it's opening day. And then the second thing I thought was, I gotta watch 2 more episodes of Magpie Murders. I gotta figure out who done it. It's so good.
That's the best when you've got.
It is.
When you've got some like in the chamber. Very good.
Yes,
very
good. What about you, Laura?
Well, I keep forgetting to definitely subscribe with my own money to Peacock and not remind certain people in my life about various passwords. But I do not have access to Peacock at this moment in time. And I had, there have been a couple of shows that were Peacock exclusives that I wanted to check out. And I got my chance to check out The Traitors at our last retreat before the folks got there. But one show that I've been wanting to watch forever that just dropped on Netflix is called Girls Five Eva. And it is about a fake girl band from the 1999 early aughts, and them trying to like get back together and reunite. And just it is a like Tina Fey executive produced situation. It is Kimmy Schmidt combined with Crazy Ex-Girlfriend vibes, and it is just like a joke machine. And it's just so refreshing. I definitely watched Quiet on Set, that that Nickelodeon documentary. It is such a stone cold bummer. So this has been a very nice, kind of still critical of that time period and space, but a much lighter viewpoint. And it's just really fun to watch, and helps me confront the fact that that was 20 years ago. So I cannot believe that that time period was when we were teenagers and it was so toxic. And it's nice to be able to laugh about it, especially in light of Justin Timberlake's new album, which I think is going to be a huge bummer to listen to. So, because he's really doubling down on his nonsense.
Sucks.
Yeah. And it sucks because goddamn, that Justified album is like, it came at the perfect time in my life. I freaking loved that album. And
now, the name of that makes me feel really shitty.
Really shitty. And he has just said he has no one to apologize to ever. And that's who he is.
I think of a lot of people he should apologize to. Just off the top of my head. Probably 100%. His wife.
100%.
Janet Jackson.
His wife is Janet Jackson. Oh, no, I was like, his wife, Janet Jackson. I was like, wait a minute.
His wife,
no.
comma.
Yes.
Janet Jackson, comma.
Yes. Britney. I mean, so many people. But he would then have to have done any work on himself, and it does not appear to be the case. So It's a shame, because 2003 me being told that there's a new Justin Timberlake album when I'm approaching 40, I would be so excited, and I am so not. So talk about bad reviews. You should really, that Pitchfork review is but that's a shame, because I loved him then and no longer. So we just add him to the pile of disappointing men from that era. So it is nice to have a fun tongue-in-cheek critique of the time that is a jokey format.
I'm excited to watch that one.
Yeah, it's silly.
Canceled Netflix, and I just can't. And I just saw a new season of The Circle is going to drop in 3 weeks.
Oh!
So I'm in Netflix. Keep taking my $11.99. It's okay.
Oh, Circle.
You win.
Oh, Circle.
Yeah,
meanwhile, I crapped out on watching Irish Wish, the new Lindsay Lohan film. I got halfway through and I just couldn't do it anymore. But I know that probably like end of May, right before Vest Fest, something tells me that Allison's going to fire that up and have all kinds of hot takes for everyone. So people keep talking about how it doesn't make sense that the Irish guy's family was British, but I just want to say that is the only thing that made sense to me, because they live in this giant estate and all of the like landed gentry in Ireland are British because of colonialism. So like that part makes sense. But yeah, Protestant landowners, it's terrible. So that part was like the only thing that logically made sense, and everything else is off the rails.
Oh my God. I am about 3 days away from putting a teleparty together to watch this movie with the party.
Well, go right ahead, because that's the only way I'd ever get through it. Because no fun zone.
I'm very interested in what Sarah G just said in the chat, which is she watched the entire thing and it's not as bad as her Christmas movie. I thought her Christmas movie was so hilariously terrible in every way. I loved every second of it.
Well, I will say that the British love interest, who Natalie points out that is a little problematic, that the British love interest, I said this to you last evening, that I really feel like he is doing the thing. He is doing the heavy lifting. Like some of those guys in those Christmas movies, like really play it straight and they are convincing. And that British man is very convincing. And Lilo is doing the absolute best with what the computer generated, what the like AI bot spat at her. They're both doing pretty well with it. So I respect the effort. I don't respect the finished product, but they both did a good job. So why not?
Yeah,
Oh
I think a
man,
lot of
everyone's
people
got
are
hot takes.
assuming. I know. I think everyone's assuming that people were hired to do a job that they did, and then that's why we got this movie. I do not think that's the case. I think that a
No.
bunch of robots
Yes.
wanted money, and they were programmed to make money.
Get money.
And
Get
that's what
money.
this did.
Yeah.
So they didn't hire anybody to dress anyone in a
No.
way that made any sense. They didn't
No.
hire anybody to play a character that made sense for their skills.
Yeah.
They just did the thing to make the money. So yeah, that's why a lot of the decision making isn't sound, because it wasn't decided by humans.
Yeah, I don't understand, particularly the costume choices when it came to Saint Bridget. Wild and crazy. I don't understand what's happening, but again, not wild enough to keep me with it. So I got so freaking bored. But if it was a teleparty, I'd hop in. So let's keep an eye out.
We were talking about doing more teleparty movie nights.
Yep. And I
still just December.
Yes, and I still really, really want to do Eurovision, the Eurovision movie, before we go to Iceland, because that film is so great. So
that is a legitimately good movie.
Yeah, ding dong, baby.
Yeah.
So that's in my heart. So keep an eye out, y'all. Keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out. It's real. All right. With our last couple of minutes, Laura, anything else? Anything else with the people?
I mean, yeah, ding dong. First of all, that is important. And no, I can't believe we're heading into April. That's wild to me.
I know.
But I am already looking forward to our next Level Up series that we're going to do in April, just a yarn deep dive. I really like that one. We get so many questions about yarn preferences, and what the difference between X, Y, and Z is. And I'm really excited to just have that chat in 2 weeks about just all about yarn, because that is what we're doing here, isn't it? Really, I mean, it's really what we're doing.
All about yarn. The more you know. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
That one too. Well, wonderful. Well, everyone, as usual, thank you so much for joining us today. That you have seen pretty exclusive content, considering this recording will not be up, because I got baseball to go watch.
No, and I'm so excited for you. Yeah, layer up for sure.
I have a whole outfit picked out. It's going to be great. I think there will be a lot of Tigers fans in the house. I bought this ticket and I had lots of options about where I wanted to sit. So sorry, White Sox. But yeah, so I'm going to go get bundled up. This recording is going to be up at some point. So thank you for experiencing this live for us. If you watch Ferrari or Thanksgiving, you gotta let us know. Because just because these movies we're deciding are not for Allyson and not for Laura does not.
They might be for you.
Be for you. And we want to hear about it, because that is what makes entertainment so much fun. When you get to talk about it with other people.
Right. Have so much fun today, Allyson. Congratulations. You made it through another baseball-less season, back into baseball season. This is where you really shine. This is where your life is.
Better here. Yes. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye.